Welcome, and thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy this video, we invite those of you who haven't yet done so, to like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the notification icon, to be notified when the next one is uploaded. We appreciate all comments, whether positive or negative, because it is very important to ventilate both sides of any issue. All we ask is that you observe the YouTube community guidelines. We'd like to urge those of you who haven't yet done so, to sign our online petition for an inquiry into the BBC and Channel 4's coverage of Lewis Hamilton and Abu Dhabi. A link has been provided in the description. If you are on X, then please repost our tweet. Thank you. Today, we will be discussing the big and bold statement that Ferrari made after the Mexico GP, and how it augurs well for the Brazil GP, and their impending union with Lewis Hamilton. As we have been detailing in numerous videos since Abu Dhabi 2021, McLaren's reward for spearheading the laundering of the theft of Sir Lewis's 8th title was their installation as the number 1 team. They were immediately installed as the most popular team, before the contrived 2021 season finale, and the plan was to buttress this fake accolade with the Constructors' Championship this year. But unfortunately for the conspirators, it appears that they now have to find a way around Ferrari, who are upsetting the apple cart, in much the same way they did when they blew up Mercedes and Liberty Media's plans to usher Sir Lewis into retirement, as we have also shown in numerous videos. The nub of the Liberty Media plan for this year was that once the FIA-assisted Crashtappen was safely ahead in the title race, with McLaren defending his rear, then Red Bull will mysteriously lose power, that will conveniently transfer to McLaren, and hey presto. McLaren will be Constructors' Champion as McCrashtappen collects his 4th contrived driver's title. We will set out exactly how this plan developed, as far as the driver's title race for this season is concerned, in a follow-up video, but for now, we will focus on the Constructors' title, and how Ferrari have sent a big message by blowing up Liberty Media's scheme to allocate the Constructors' and Drivers' Championships to McLaren and Verstappen respectively. By way of a brief background, Ferrari have come from nowhere to challenge McLaren for the Constructors' title. At the end of the Spanish GP in June, the all-conquering runaway leaders Red Bull were 60 points ahead of second-placed Ferrari, and a whopping 93 points ahead of third-placed McLaren. Liberty Media had to find a way to leapfrog Ferrari before swapping the constructors' lead between Red Bull and McLaren. Interestingly though, or suspiciously if you prefer, Crashtappen's last FIA-assisted victory was in June at the Spanish Grand Prix. Since Spain, the all-conquering Liberty Media superstar, who had won 7 out of the 10 races by then, and effectively locked up the driver's title, has not won any of the 10 races since. Now, if you think that this was just the way the cookie crumbled, then please, I am selling London Bridge for £50 million in cash. By July, a pumped-up McLaren had reduced the gap to an FIA-defanged Red Bull by a massive 42 points, while overtaking Ferrari in the process. By the end of August, McLaren had closed the 51-point gap to Red Bull to 30 points, while extending their lead over Ferrari from 16 to 34 points. By the end of September, after the Singapore GP, McLaren had taken over the lead in the constructors' table. So, in the 8 races after Spain, McLaren had overturned a 93-point gap to go from third to first, to lead Red Bull by 41 points. That is a staggering 134-point turnaround in the constructors' title race. Yet, With this massive swing in McLaren's favor in the constructors' title race, Lando was only able to reduce Verstappen's lead by 17 points.
You don't find that suspicious?
And, as advised earlier, we will go into more detail about the driver's side of the table in our next video. Anyway, back to the title race. During that same 8-race period after Spain, McLaren had overturned a 33-point deficit to Ferrari to lead them by 75 points. A turnaround of 108 points. With the Liberty Media ordained swap around accomplished, the FIA fortuitously stepped in September, to declare McLaren's flexing rear wing illegal, and hey presto, enter the Scarlet Ferrari. Yes folks, Ferrari have won the 2 races since Singapore, to reduce McLaren's lead to 29 points, with just 3 races to go. So, here's the thing, after Verstappen had all but secured the driver's title, way back in June, the FIA stepped in to ask Red Bull to change something, and they are yet to win another race since. As fate would have it, McLaren suddenly became the team on the move, until September when they were similarly made by the reactionary FIA, to change something on their car, and hey presto, they, like their predecessor, have yet to win another race since. While the FIA was busy manipulating races to order for Liberty Media, Ferrari stepped in to blow the scheme mile high. With 3 races to go, is there enough time for McLaren or Red Bull to invent some other cheating mechanism that the FIA will conveniently overlook? Brazil is just this weekend, so there's no time for anything outside of dodgy rulings during the race weekend, so don't be surprised if Ferrari are on the wrong side of some dodgy rulings by the FIA. They are already committed to clamping down on Verstappen, to give the appearance that the title race is still open. But as we showed in our previous video, Lando conceded the title race in the run-up to the mexicogp, and all the noise he made during and after the race was after the fact. The question for Liberty Media, the FIA and McLaren, is how do they stop the Lewis Hamilton style surge that Ferrari are on? Ferrari have come out to declare that they want to be front runners, and they are in the running for the constructors' title. They are definitely the ones that have the momentum going into the closing stages of the season, and this augurs well for 2025, when Sir Lewis will be driving for them. Liberty Media will have a job on their hands to manipulate races with Ferrari on the rise. Forza Ferrari.